The notification of Twitter keeps bringing up a lot of vile content to my feed, and some of it is against a lot of it is against Indians. A lot of it against just non-white people, and a lot of it is against black people, Africans. And as an African, I feel obliged to respond because as someone who's lived in the West and Africa, I have a unique perspective. Well, it's not unique, but it's a better perspective than what a lot of these people have. They say that, in particular to African intelligence, that we are incapable of running a first world country because Africans have a low IQ and are inherently stupid. That's not accurate. I think there's a lot of corruption in Africa and a lot of greediness with the African leaders. But the main reason why Africa is not succeeding is the ideology. African leaders were brainwashed by the Soviet Union during the Liberation War days, and they were convinced to believe that communism is the way to go. Bear in mind, the Soviet Union was a superpower during the 70s and 80s. And every leader who was educated in the Soviet Union believed that the path to success and become like the Soviet Union was communism. And communism is very good at brainwashing. They prevent any source of information which is alternative to what they're teaching from accessing your intuitive nature. So personally, I was an average to A student, maybe, no, probably a B to A student. I was relatively good in math and physics, and I took an IQ test when I was 20, and I couldn't believe it. They said I have a high IQ, but because I was struggling in my math class at the time, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, if I have a high IQ, why am I struggling so much? I'm supposed to be breezing through this calculus lessons. And there were people, I was like in the top 10%. There were people who were smarter than me, who were seemingly not struggling in class. And this was a school which was not really a good school, but not too bad either. So I know for a fact that there are the same number of people who have the potential to be geniuses is roughly the same number of people that I've seen in the West. Because I haven't met outstanding, like the type of people I've met in the West are different culturally, but they're not like smarter. Of course, it depends on the people you hang around with. But I'm saying this in the terms like the people I grew up with, they may not have the book smarts, but they have a lot of intuitive intelligence. And that intuitive intelligence is something that is not tested. People don't understand what intuitive intelligence does. It's the same thing when you look at that TikToker, Kaby Lame. He's the guy who always takes what someone else was overcomplicating and portrays it in a comedic, simple way. And he's probably, I don't know, top two earners in TikTok. He's a multi-millionaire right now. So he encompasses generally how Africans think. Africans don't like complicating their lives. They don't see the need for complicating their lives because they feel like, what is the point? Okay, do you want stock? Why are you? Why don't you live for now? And in an inarticulate manner, I'm trying to say Africans have mastered the art of living in the now. They don't think too far away ahead because they, out of religion, out of experience, don't want to complicate their lives by thinking of the future that far ahead, because they feel like you are wasting energy on something that you don't fully have control over. So why not enjoy your life today? Now, that kind of thinking, you can obviously see the disadvantages of thinking in the now, because you fail to plan for the future. You fail to have a longer term view of your life, which would benefit you maybe financially, benefit your kids financially. But that's the kind of mentality that a lot of people have in Africa, because they're like, no, I could be hit by a car next week, and this $1 million that I'm saving for next year will be useless to me when I'm dead. So the intuitive intelligence that Africans have is shown when by the reliance on medicinal or natural medicine. A lot of the medicine that the West takes, that the West uses, is actually medicine from trees. And for a long time, Africans were put down for relying on trees for medicine. But that intuitive nature of not really knowing exactly what chemicals are there, but knowing that this works, is what has been used in Africa for thousands of years. They know, but they don't know exactly what are the chemicals, what are the bonds, how to extract everything like the Western medicine does, but they know. So that is an intuitive intelligence that is not tested, and it's something that people have looked down upon with the advent of modern medicine. But if you test that, I'm pretty sure Africans and people who are native to native people like Native Americans and people like Aboriginal Australians, those people would probably score high in that. It's called intuition. It's just knowing. And this goes also into the field of epigenetics, right? Where a lot of people believe that there are memories in your genes, and accessing those memories means being intuitive. Now, scientists will push this aside as pseudoscience, but Africans strongly believe in this intuition, whereby you're being told through your ancestors how to live your life through your genes. Because if I live today and I avoid dangers, My brain is constantly creating memories in the hard drive, and the hard drive is genetic. So, how to avoid certain dangers, how to survive certain things is already in my genes. And if I have a child, those memories are passed through the seed. Those how to survive a lion, how to survive this and that, certain situations is passed through the seed to the next child, to the child. And when the child grows up, they may have certain ways of dealing with similar situations which they didn't learn in their lives but are intuitively knowing those things. So that's intuitive intelligence. So a lot of the modern world is disregarding the way that people have lived for thousands of years because of advances that have been made in the past 200 years. And that's a bit presumptuous and a bit arrogant of people, especially scientific minded people, to just disregard what has worked for thousands of years in favor of something that you don't know, in favor of medicines that you just manufactured for the pharmaceutical industrial complex, and you believe, okay, this is going to work, but you don't know what kind of damage those medicines are doing to your genes, what kind of damage, what kind of long-term effects will be there when you rely on new science, new modern science. I'm not saying modern science is terrible, but it's would be folly to look down upon people who have survived in hostile environments and passed down those genes of survival for thousands of years, then just to dismiss them as primitive.